What is up, you guys? Dennis Garcia here. How the hell is everybody doing? It is currently February 1st, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I know that you may be asking to yourself, Dennis, why the fuck are you up so early? And that is because today is a very, very special day. Today is the first day of the month, which means that Dutch Bros is going to be releasing their monthly sticker. And if you guys know me, you know that I am obsessed with Dutch Bros, I am obsessed with coffee, and I am obsessed with stickers. I literally have stickers all over my room. I have them on my hydro flask. They're all Dutch Bros. And I have a shit ton of stickers on my laptop from Dutch Bros, Feel Your Soul, from Tilly's, from Zoomies. Wherever I see a cute sticker, I buy it and I find a place to stick it. Right now, we are going to go to Dutch Bros. We're gonna hopefully get in line and be maybe one of the first people in line so that we can get the sticker. And then we're gonna come home, enjoy a nice cold morning coffee beverage, and talk about where I've been and what's next for my life. Because honestly, I'm kind of going through this little transitional period in my life, and that's Pontiac right there, who is also up with me at 5 in the morning, and he or she looks happy to be awake, as you guys may or may not be able to hear. But we're gonna go get some Dutch Bros coffee, we're gonna go get my monthly sticker, and then we're gonna come back to this seat and talk about where I've been and what's gonna happen in my life over the course of the next few months. So let's go to Dutch Bros. And just like that, your boy is back from Dutch Bros. I got myself a large white chocolate mocha, iced with an extra shot, extra sweetness, and of course, the entire reason why I went to Dutch Bros for my little monthly stickers. Guys, this sticker is so freaking cute. It has like a hot pink outline. The fill on the inner sticker is like a red orangey color, and it has these cute like peace sign, a little heart sign, a little smiley face, and it has the phrase Dutch love with a dark blue outline on Dutch love. It's really cute. I don't know where I'm gonna put it at as of yet, so for now it's going to stay in my desk drawer until I find a more permanent spot for it. Now it's time for the meat and potatoes of this video, the entire reason why I am filming this video, and the whole reason why you may have noticed that I have deleted all of my social media. Technically, I haven't deleted my social media. I deleted all of the contents on my social media. We're gonna get into why all of that stuff happened, but before we do, if you are under 18 years old or you are one of my family members and don't want to hear me talk about my sex life or don't want to hear me talk about my lifestyle in regards to me and my sex, then feel free to click off this video. Next week, I will have a more PG or G-rated video for you guys to watch. It'll be a coach review. So if you guys want to watch that, tune in next week. If you do want to watch this video, then just keep on watching. But just know that if you are a family member, you are about to hear a lot about my sex life. And that kind of ties into the reason why I decided to leave social media for a while. Let me take a quick sip of coffee because this video is going to be a lot, and we're gonna jump right into it. I guess we should start at the beginning. Like every story, there is a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. And in this story, there is a beginning. This all started back in the beginning of 2017. I had just broken up with my ex Joey. We were together for about 2.5 years, and it was one of the worst breakups that I had in my entire life. This ex of mine literally broke me and sent me to rock bottom. He was the second serious relationship that I had. We broke up even though I was still in love with him. We just were heading in two different directions. I think he was falling out of love with me, and I just didn't want to see that happen. So I ended the relationship, even though I still loved him. And that whole breakup for the next 2 years just kind of sent me into rock bottom. I did a lot of really dumb stuff over the course of the next 2 years. I moved to California prematurely just because I felt like I needed to run away. I got myself into a lot of risky situations by having sex with strange men, sometimes not using protection. I've been testing myself continuously for the last 4 years now, ever since that breakup. And when I get myself into a risky situation or I hook up with a stranger, even if it's protected, I still go get tested and I still do all of that stuff. So if you're out there having sex with strangers, protected or not, please go get tested. Even though we are in a global pandemic, you should still go get tested. For those first 2 years, from 2017 up until 2019, I really hit rock bottom. I was having a lot of casual sex with a lot of strangers who later on ended up becoming fuck buddies. in both Phoenix and California. And it was just not a good place mentally to be in. I really needed an excuse to just forget my ex and to feel another man's touch on my body. And that's really all that it was about. My reason for hooking up with guys was to forget how my ex made me feel when we had sex and replace his touch with somebody else who lusted after me, not necessarily loved me, because none of my hookups ever turned into anything more than just a hookup. And for the first 2 years of that whole situation, I really just hit rock bottom, and I was doing a lot of risky, sketchy things with a lot of guys and just trying to get my mind off of my ex. It took 2 years for me to get out of that place and stop doing that, but I still kept a lot of my casual sex partners in my vicinity. I still kept them around because I figured we were both already doing it and we both had been tested. We were both being safe. And from those 2 years, from 2019 to 2021, I still had a few sex buddies here and there that we would help each other out whenever we needed to scratch each other's back and have some fun. Then the pandemic started. In March, we started going into lockdown, March of 2020. And at the time, I was living in the studio apartment in downtown Phoenix. I was living by myself. There's nothing worse than going from being around people every day at your job, being around people in your apartment, feeling the touch of a man having sex and feeling lusted after, to now being stuck in my apartment, having to isolate, not being able to really get out. A lot of the protests were still happening from like March to like May, so it was risky to even step outside of my door, especially since I was out in downtown Phoenix where a lot of the protest was happening. It was just a really mentally exhausting time for me, trying to figure out how to be okay with being alone, how to sort of learn how to cope with not having sex. I wouldn't say that I was a sex addict, but I definitely relied a lot on my sex life to feel fulfilled. You know, the first 2 years, I really felt shitty about myself every single time that I had sex with a stranger. I felt like used, I felt empty, I felt disgusting because I didn't know how to cope with being lonely and being broken up with and not feeling loved. But over the course of the next 4 years, not being in a relationship, learning how to love myself, and just realizing that as an adult, I can enjoy sex and I can have casual sex with people, and it doesn't have to be this like serious thing, and it can be this like fun experience. I really started to open up myself to the idea that I didn't need to be in a relationship and that I didn't need to feel like I needed to be in a relationship to be fulfilled and to feel like I am worth something to somebody. So when the pandemic began, for like the first 5 or 6 months, I didn't meet with anybody. I didn't have anybody in my apartment. I was afraid. I was scared of not only STDs in general. There's always a risk when you're having sex with somebody that you're gonna catch something, but also now having to put into that we had an airborne virus or a surface virus where you can catch it by just touching a table or a chair or a door handle, not knowing where the guys that I've been hooking up with have been. I didn't have anybody in my apartment for like 6 months. I didn't have sex for 6 months. I was scared. I didn't know what the whole corona virus was about. I didn't know how it was transmitted, how badly it affected people. So then fast forward to June. I moved to Long Beach with my cousin in June of 2020, and this was around the time that everybody had been working from home and had transferred from being in office with their co-workers to now doing everything they did from home. So a lot of us were at home quarantining, or they didn't have a job, or they were being paid by unemployment, and I kind of felt more comfortable with the idea of meeting up with people again, only if they had been quarantined at home and we were both open and honest with each other with the fact that like, this is all it is. It's just a hookup. We both need it. As long as we're both being safe about it and we're both quarantining and we're both being safe and working from home, then we can do it. Never once did I kiss any of the guys that I was with, never made out with them. It was all bottom situations. And then around like September, October, I kind of stopped. I stopped having casual sex with people because it got kind of old. I had been at that point having casual sex here and there for about 4 years. And it was just not something that I really wanted to do anymore. Not that I'm like saying like I was gonna stop having sex completely, but I just really wanted to stop having casual sex so often. I was literally having sex like once or twice a week. And it was just like exhausting mentally, emotionally, physically. It was taxing. It was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And so I told myself, you know what? We're gonna do it like once every 2 to 3 months whenever I like really need it. And we're just gonna focus on ourselves, focus on our happiness, try to be happy just being alone and being by myself. And for a bit, it was working. And for that first like month and a half, I was doing great. And then in December, I got COVID and had to be quarantined for about a month and a half. And that was literally one of the worst sexually frustrating times that I had been in, because at that point I hadn't had sex since October. At this point we were in around like December 20th and I had COVID. I couldn't meet up with anybody, I couldn't have sex, I was like sexually frustrated. And then around like mid-January, like January 20 something, I finally felt comfortable enough again to like meet up with somebody. And so I was on Tinder, as I have been on Tinder for the last 4 years. And you know, nothing has ever come out of Tinder as far as like a relationship over the course of the last 4 years. I've always just talked to people on Tinder and it went nowhere. And I matched with this guy. And we start talking. He's like 21 years old. He tells me that he wants to hook up and that's all he wants to do. And I'm like, cool, that's all I want to do. So we talk. I pass him my Snapchat, we talk on Snap, we exchange pictures, we confirm that both of us are who we say we are, and I drive to him to go do our thing. So we meet up, do our thing, we leave, and the next day I realized that he reported me on Tinder, blocked me on Snap, and had my Tinder banned. And at that point I was like, fuck, like this is my only source of enjoyment is Tinder, you know? Still being in a global pandemic, still not being able to talk to anybody, still not being able to go on dates. This was my only source of, I guess, entertainment, and at the same time, my chance at finding true love. That being taken and ripped from under me was a little bit devastating at first, a little bit of a blow. And at that point, I was just a little bit dumbfounded, and I was thinking to myself like, fuck, what am I gonna do now? How am I gonna find love now? Bumble sucks, OkCupid sucks, Hinge sucks. The only like good thing on my phone was Tinder because I had a chance to talk to people, meet new people. Everybody's on Tinder, so like it gave me a good chance of potentially finding love. And then a little light bulb went up in my head and I was like, I've been on Tinder for 4 years now. Have not found love, have not gone any dates, have not had any success with Tinder. Maybe what this guy did was a favor. He did me a favor by banning me from Tinder because all I was doing this entire pandemic is swiping on Tinder, browsing on Twitter, going on Reddit, Snapchatting, Facebooking. I literally spent the last year of my pandemic on my phone, not creating content, not being productive, being depressed about the fact that I wasn't finding love on Tinder, being depressed at the fact that I had no friends, going on Instagram stories and seeing other people live their life and be in a relationship or have friends and living life while I was still taking the precautions that I was taking, trying to be more careful, not meeting up with people. Lost pretty much all of my friends throughout the pandemic because we were all, and we all still are trying to take care of ourselves and trying to be careful and not meet up with a lot of our friends to not catch the virus. So I was like, you know what? He did me a favor by getting me banned from Tinder. So at that point, I literally went on my Instagram, I unfollowed everybody, I deleted all of my photos, I went on Twitter, deleted all of my tweets, unfollowed everybody, my Snapchat, deleted all of my snaps, unfollowed everybody. I'm just gonna delete everything. I need to focus on myself and focus on my happiness and focus on me, my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, are things that I want to focus on in 2021. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I decided to do. I decided to leave social media for the next 6 or 7 months. I probably won't come back to Instagram or any other social media fully until my 30th birthday. I was really contemplating it and thinking like when would be a good time to return if I decided to return. And if all goes well and if I'm taking care of myself over the course of the next 6 or 7 months, then by my 30th birthday, I will be back on these social media platforms. For now, I'm still keeping my YouTube. I'm still going to be filming videos on YouTube. Of what, I am not entirely sure. I feel like my life right now is evolving. I feel like I'm changing, and I feel like I needed a fresh start. And so that's kind of where we're at now. I want to focus more on losing weight and using my time more productively, making more content, doing more stuff that makes me happy and that keeps my mind busy, and not necessarily do stuff that waste my time, but gives me an excuse to get better at the things that I already love. Aside from that, I hope that you're all having a good day and a good week and a good month and a good year and a good life, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.